Oh man, I don't know what it is, bro, but I'm always gassed when I'm in like West Midlands doing an episode like this. I don't know what it is, man. It's just the culture behind it, and as well, no pun intended. But as well, like I'd like to think like Benet Culture is like the biggest clothing brand in Birmingham, like right now. Definitely the most respected. So it's sick to have you, man. Sick to have you. I need to do the actual intro. Wagwan, my people, and welcome to Vocal Pickups, where we pick up the conversations you didn't know you needed to know, but we're going to tell you anyway. And today, we have Hemal from Bene Culture, one of the 3 founders of Bene Culture, and I'm gassed to have you here. Thank you for coming on short notice as well.
Safe, man. Thanks for having me.
No, it's so sick to have you here. And just a little bit of perspective, guys. Where are we actually?
In the car park behind the store.
Yeah, behind
right next to college.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't look dodgy at all.
No, it's not dodgy. It is a little bit like what's going on. But just before we are in conversation, I actually went into the store. I was gassed, and I was lucky enough to grab a few pieces on Hemal. Like, you were kind enough to give me these 2 pieces. Pieces are cold, by the way. Definitely going to make a TikTok out of it, so stay tuned for that. But I went into the store and it's so like intimate and it's sick. And did you just release a new collection?
No, to be fair, we haven't released anything since end of July.
End of July?
So we've had so probably by the time this comes out, it's kind of like our 8th anniversary sort of thing.
Oh.
So we've got like a little special thing coming out this week where so like when we started Bene, we started with £50. So we're doing like a £50 t-shirt, but obviously in like Benet's design.
Sick.
But we're giving out £50 to customers and like
mad.
Not a gift card purchase again, like literally £50, so they can start something themselves. It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but like
no. But
when you start out, like it is kind of a lot of money.
I get it. Nah, that is actually so sick, man. Like one of my first questions was because I found out about Bene Culture through like a mutual friend. So I've said this in so many podcasts, but Miles from Foxdale and Tyson from Corrupt Dynasty, those are my boys, like my mandem. And they invited me. I think Tyson invited me down to one of your events. Obviously, we're going to touch on that a lot more. But he invited me down to one of your events, and I was like in shock. I was like, "Raw! I didn't know
many people involved."
Yeah, but bro, that's what I was saying. But it was strange because there was people inside the store, artists like performing, people outside the store just waiting to get in and this, that, whatever. It was sick. It was so sick. But part of me was like, oh, why didn't I know about this brand sooner? But like, one of my questions is how was the startup of making the brand happen? Like, how did it even?
It's kind of strange, man.
Yeah.
Like Bene nearly started like 3 or 4 times. So we've got the trademark for it back in 2012. So like imagine like the days of like like wearing Vans, when like Topshop was like massive, Big Cartel was massive then.
Mad.
That's like how far back it was. I was like, I think I was just my 2nd year at uni or something.
Fam, if you guys know about Big Cartel.
Honestly, Big Cartel is what like Insta TikTok was back in the day, because you used to have the I don't know if you remember it. They used to have like a leaderboard.
Yes, bro.
Of like all the
that's
ones.
how some brands would like actually blow up from the leaderboard. It would push certain people. No,
like you had Hype. Obviously, I don't know what Hype are doing now, but you had Hype. They represent back in the day.
Yeah.
Can't remember the other ones. There was like so many of these brands that like don't exist now, that were like top 3, 4.
There was one called
Dope Chef.
There was Dope Chef.
Yeah,
bro. Their marketing was so hard, and I always wondered what happened to them.
I don't know. I think it just happens sometimes. You know, when a brand's like just of the time.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't exist. Well, they might still. I haven't like checked up on them in like years. Man. Even Trapstar was on there back in the day too.
Yeah.
You'd always look up. I think the highest we ever got when we had a Big Cartel was like something stupid, like 10,000 or like 11,000. We never got like, because we weren't like. It's weird. We weren't like a brand then. We had no products then. We were just like had a brand name, and that was literally it. It was just Bene Culture. We trademarked it, and then just.
So where did the name come from?
Oh, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid.
No, it doesn't matter, bro. I love a stupid story, bro.
My brother used to play Football Manager. Well, not Football Manager, Championship Manager back in the day.
Bro, I used to play that heavy.
It's like Sims, but for like guys, you know what I mean? Where you're in it just like... It's like it comes to life when you're like a teenager, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, you think you're football manager, you think it's Alex Ferguson. Do you know what I mean? But he used to love Roma. And then when we were starting the brand, we're trying to think of a name. It's so hard because like every name sounds stupid.
It's true.
But you have to build the brand around the name. And then like we're thinking, oh, what can we want to do community things, we want to be culture. We can't use good culture because it was a bit too... Good culture sounds a bit too... plain and
yeah.
And we were just like... my brother's partner, was wife now, was just like, oh, let's try like something Italian. Because like Italian means like high quality. Means like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then went on Bene, which means like well and good. But to us it was like, oh, you're feeling well and it's good. So it means like good culture.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Mad.
People don't really realise it. It's like, oh, Bene, it sounds
But
nice.
it sounds good because it rolls off the tongue. So it's like Benet Culture. Like
you can just call it Bene. It kind of works like a bit like Nike, where it's just Nike and Bene is Bene. It's really simple and like you can just say it. I think some brands struggle with the name bit because the name
100%.
You need to look at what was around you. Like childish is it's solid. It's just childish.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, the birth of childish was like an accident. Like it didn't mean anything. We just, because we used to get called immature and childish so much from people because of the nature of our videos, which is completely valid, whatever. It just, like, Jay just kept saying it in videos and then it just stuck. It was like, oh, why don't you do hoodies? I can't remember who said it, but then we did it and then it just kept going.
It was sort of merch first, wasn't it? And then it sort of... Well, I think everything's merch, like...
Oh, 100%, bro. 100%. Because the way Bene Culture started, you weren't necessarily a clothing line to start off with, were you?
We weren't anything for a couple of years, to be fair. So, like, 2012, and then... 2012 was, like, Tyler, the Creator was massive, and, like, box logos.
Bro, do you know how often I hear this? People always relate to Odd Future when they're talking about a period of their life. It did so much for me when I was younger.
I remember Yonkers. I sound very old. I went to Yonkers premiere on YouTube. I remember the day, like
100%.
It was culture. It was culture, and then
definitely.
It's kind of strange. Like we had the name, we had like a sort of idea what it wanted to be, but like at that time it was completely different. Like back then, to have a website, you needed to have a hosting agent. You needed to have a manufacturer, and if you went to anywhere, if you asked anyone, "Oh, what's your manufacturer? What's your screen printer?" They'd be like, "Oh, I can't tell you," or it'd be like, "You'd speak to the manufacturer." And there's one who reached out to us like a few years later. I was like, oh, I must have been like 20 at the time. So I was like, oh, what's your minimums? And he was like, 200. That's it. And I was like, how much does it cost per print? He said something like £12 per print. And I was like,
whoa.
I was heavy in my overdraft. Couldn't pay for that at all. Like, so we just kind of like deaded it off a little bit. Like, I actually started selling trainers, started doing like vintage bits and bobs. And that kind of died off as we went to the end of uni. And then I was sort of like, because we tried to start it a couple of times, like, you know what? I was like, literally, I can't be asked. And then my other business partners, Hass and my brother Hemal, so I think it started 2015. They were just like, let's start. We've got the name. Might as well. We've paid like how much money for it? I think it cost like at the time it's like £300-400 trademark. And it was like a couple of grand to like trademark it worldwide. So we spent a lot of money on the trademark anyway. Might as well do something with it. And they, like, I think went to Amsterdam a few months after deciding. And they realised becoming a retailer is just really, really expensive. You need capital. You
need peas, bro.
At that time, you needed so much money to start a brand. I would say, like, a minimum, like, to make one that lasts, like, 10, 20 grand, give or take.
Facts, bro. Facts.
You can have merch, but to have a brand, it costs that. And we were like, you know what, It kind of got me on board. Like, come on, help out. I was, like, doing IT and like, web design at the time at uni. So I was like... I basically saved a bit of cash by getting me to make the website and stuff. And they were like, how do we do this? And we sort of created, them guys created a plan of doing vintage, then using the capital from vintage, start a retailer. And then eventually, like, I wouldn't even say now, we thought we were going to do it now. Like, probably like another 10 years in advance, actually be a brand. But we wanted to do vintage first. But vintage then was probably a lot harder than it is now, where you kind of just go on TikTok, find like the best wholesaler and find players. It was a lot harder, and we didn't have any capital. I'm saying like we had 50 quid. But that was literally like 50 quid near enough.
So you use that 50 quid to buy garments.
So my brother, it's kind of like charity shops were a lot better than they are now.
Bro, yes. Because
They
I was
were
just
like-
saying to Callum, bro, I got a pair of Carhartt cargos. Amazing. Obviously, you know Carhartt.
Yeah.
Amazing quality, bro. It was about 15 quid, bro.
Oh, mad.
We're probably talking like 2014, 2015, maybe.
It was so different then. Like,
Way different, bro.
Imagine that 50 quid. Like, you go into a charity shop now, 50 quid. That's like 3 items, 2 items max. We must have got like 10 items, 20, something like that. Like
For
loads.
50 quid.
50 quid. That was it. And then we went on. Well, I look back now, and I sound like a bit like a hater. I was against Depop. I was like,
Really?
because Depop to me was just like, imagine that was 2013, 2014. It was like, it's what students use. It was like eBay,
Yeah.
but a bit less cool. And I was like, we shouldn't do it. And the guys, fair play to my brother, like he was like adamant, like, let's do Depop. And it was mad. Like we put stuff on there, and he just had this thing where he kept on like following people to kind of like create connections with them, which like online. Imagine we've got no physical location. He was trying to get these connections with these people online on Depop. And then we kept on getting followers, but then we stopped following people. We kept on getting followers. And then the products we had, like, we sold everything near enough within, like, a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then from that stock, we ended up going to, like, car boot sales, then car boot sales, like, wholesale places. And then when we properly made it as a business and everything, like, right at the start of 2016, we were going to America to, like, buy stock.
And then just shipping it back.
Well, we're getting in like having our luggage. Weirdly, my brother went for his 30th birthday and then brought stock back.
Crazy.
It's kind of crazy looking back now, obviously doing that.
No, it's not even crazy, man. That's hustling,
but
bro.
we gained like I think we might have been like the 3rd or 4th biggest Depop page at one point. We had like just under 200,000 followers or something.
Wow. Have you still got it now?
We haven't used it yet. We've still got it, and like I think Depop like deleted accounts, and we've still got it, but we haven't really done anything with it in like a number of years. But that's how like the brands like we gained like a following from that literal page.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did you what did you turn the 50 quid into, bro? Like monetary, like just a rough estimate. I'm just so curious.
It was kind of hard because we kept on. Imagine that 50 quid went into buying stock again, so we never just sat on the money. Because imagine like when you start a business, it's kind of like Man United right now, like the Glazers. You just sort of like they're taking.
Yo, he's a proper United fan like me. You know, I could just tell.
But you know what I mean? You have to. It's like a baby. You have to like feed it. You have to like think it. So it was constantly like we never just sat on the money. So I always had stock to sell. So we kind of stupidly never like invested it. We just went straight and were like, let's buy more stock with it. Because we wanted to get to that goal of like having brands in the store. We're having brands in our store, but we didn't have a website at that point, so it was literally just Depop. That was it.
Mad.
And then it sounds so stupid now. Like I was a web designer, bear in mind, because I did web design at uni, and it sounds stupid as hell. But we launched the website. We'd had like 3 brands from. They're quite big at the moment now. Like a brand called Heresy, if you've heard of them. They're based in I think about Manchester now. A brand called Tila, who I don't know if they exist still, but they were like a skater brand from France. And then a brand called Secret, who've got a store in Shoreditch.
Yep, I know Secret.
So they were like they were our first 3 brands. Imagine like we'd emailed other brands, but it was so tiny. We were basically just like we were an eBay account.
Yeah.
We're trying to get these brands in, and we were able to get these 3 brands who kind of shaped us, kind of. We launched a website with them, and we didn't make one sale.
Under Bene Culture?
Yeah, under Bene Culture.
And you didn't make any sales?
Not one sale.
Oh, man, that must have been pain.
So imagine we spent weeks, like I kind of gained haters from this, because we went on Facebook. Facebook was massive, obviously, back then, like 2013. Well, 2015, 2016, I put it on my Facebook page, and I was like, Benet starting properly, because back then it was just a Depop page. Like, share this post, please, blah, 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 like, interact with it in some way. And we launched the website. I remember thinking it might have been, like, right at the end of 2016, maybe. 2015, sorry. And we didn't make one sale, nothing. Like, literally for, like, weeks.
That's so... that's really difficult because you go from the 50 quid.
Well,
to
a
the 20
Depop's still doing well. So like,
so that's still doing well.
Depop is
So
still
right
doing
now,
well.
this is like a side project to that.
So this is like, we always think when you start a brand, you have to have as many avenues to like kind of develop the brand.
Yeah.
So in our eyes, it was like, okay, we have the Depop, it's making money, it's like, progressing, it's obviously not paying us yet, but it's like doing okay, right? My brother was like fully on it. I was a day job then. He was like, every day he was just on it, selling loads. And then we launched the website, and like, it's a lot different. Like, we didn't have Instagram, wasn't the same kind of thing it is now when it was then.
Yeah.
It wasn't TikTok. You had like Tumblr, but it wasn't like.
Tumblr wasn't.
It wasn't a place to sell anything. So we were trying to like push this brand, and we had no Facebook ads. We had literally all we did was just launch the website, thinking people are gonna come to it because we have stuff. That was our literal thinking. Because the Depop did that, so we were like, oh, it's gonna work like that.
Yeah, but it's no one directly follows the website, so that's why it would be difficult for people not to know without.
We had an Instagram. Instagram had like, I would say like probably just under 500 followers. But so we'd like on Depop, it's probably against the rules now. We used to be like, oh, if you follow us on Instagram, we'll give you like 5% off.
Yeah. They block a lot of shit.
Now,
on,
but like, then it was like, that's how we gained. I think we gained like 500 followers before we started. So we thought we've got 500 here. We started Depop as 0, and we made so much money. And literally, we made not one sale for like 2 months, easily 2 months, 3 months.
So what changed on the website?
It was so funny. I remember we got one order. It was for 3 t-shirts.
Was you gassed?
Initially. But obviously, because we hadn't made any sales, I hadn't checked the shipping, hadn't checked the shipping rates I put on there. I just checked the like products. I put the products on there, and that was it. And I think we were using Squarespace at the time. Oh, we might have been using Big Hotel or Squarespace. And the first order from America, I think the guy's name was like, he had quite a lot of followers. He had like, I say a lot of followers, he had like 3,000 followers. He bought these 3 items, and they only cost like 20 quid each, so like 60 quid. Shipping was £2, and it costs like international shipping. It costs like at least like 15-20 quid.
Oh, that's so sad.
Bear in mind, we didn't have a bag big enough because a lot of our vintage products were quite small, like t-shirts, hoodies, and stuff. And these 3 t-shirts, we didn't have a bag big enough, so we had to pay for the bag, pay for the thing, ship it off, and in the end, it probably made a loss because like we didn't even. Because stupidly, obviously, vintage was like, oh, the product cost us £2. We sell it for like times by 2.5, and then sell it for that. With the retail, we didn't think of it. We just thought, okay, we need to make sales. Like, and originally it was like 40 quid, then it went down to 32, then it went down to 20, and then it sold at 20, and then like we were just. I remember, it was the happiness, then the
realization of
probably made a loss.
Yeah.
And then it just started selling. Like we realised we couldn't sell the vintage, the brand stuff, because it was just a bit too high price point. I think we put a random, it might be like a Gildan hoodie on there, maybe, on the website.
What was the Gildan hoodie? Was that?
It just had literally Benet on it.
Oh, okay.
So it just had like Benet, and it was like.
Whose idea was that to just do?
My brother's.
Yeah, to just throw it up on there.
It was so stupid. It was about, I think Kanye might have like released a hoodie, which was just like a hoodie which said Easy on it or something. So we thought, oh, that would work. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And it was literally, like Warsaw Town Centre. This is quite a thing.
Of course, bro.
You know the place that does like football printing.
Yes, bro.
We used to go there
to get your stuff printed.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Gildan hoodies.
Yeah. So we used to go to him.
Mad, bro.
But bear in mind, we didn't have any of the stock, so we would go to him on the day and be like, can we get this? He'd vinyl it for us like within about 2 days, and we'd ship it off. But we used to sell it on Depop and the website, and then people were like, oh, if I get it off the website, it's a bit cheaper. So from getting that, we gained customer base from doing that. And then a normal person would think, oh, let's not be a retailer.
Yeah.
Let's actually be a brand, because it's probably be more beneficial. But I was like, let's still be a retailer. So we just we doubled down on it. But I think about Feb time, we were just like, we're doing quite consistent. Like, imagine like December, November, we'd started the brand.
So what year is this at the time?
So this was like end of 2015. So like we launched the website around November, October, I think.
Yeah.
And then we got the first sale around January, and then we released that hoodie around like February. So imagine, release this hoodie, and then we added like 1 or 2 other products that were our stuff too. And then we got a couple of other brands. There were a lot of like independent brands that we got in. I can't remember the names for life for me, but like we got them in, and so we're building like a bit more brands, but added the vintage on there too, so people could use our Depop and that. And it was going was going nice and well, and like we were gaining loads of followers. I think we hit like about 1,000 followers, 1.2 or something like that. And then
is this under the alias Benet Culture?
yeah. So this was still under Benet, and I think about might be March or start of April time. We were just like, let's launch a physical location, because it's kind of strange to think about it now, but back in the day with a retailer, you couldn't have conversations with brands if you didn't have a physical location. To have that initial conversation, you needed a physical. They were like, "Oh, you're real? You're actually putting money behind this?
Yeah,
so we'll come to you." So we made that decision to be like, you know what, get this physical location. And Brum is like a cesspit of locations. There's just not.
It's very underrated when it comes to like.
It's like there's a lot of really great locations, but they're really extortionate rents.
It is,
and it's
do you remember that one store near New Street, and it was called Candy Store?
Candy Store, yeah.
Bro, mad, goated store. Couldn't afford anything in there.
Them and Atu.
Too broke.
Do you remember Atu?
Where was Atu again?
Where Autograph is now in town.
Yes,
it's right by it's right by the Wagmamas. It's
yes,
like,
bro.
They were my I was terrified to go in both. I was terrified, dude.
Why is that?
Because I was like 18, and you're always like, when you're 18, you don't know your style or fashion at all. And you're sort of there with your cap, and you go and you're like, they're judging me.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing the right. I used to wear this bright red Old Bay cap. And do you remember the Top Man hoodies that you'd tie at the top?
Yeah, bro.
I used to wear that with like cream cargos or something going in.
Fam, I used to walk in Candy Store. The Donny used to look at me. He knew I couldn't afford nothing, bro. He knew I had no peas.
We would just go in there and be like, Huff socks.
Yeah. Wow. Weed logo. Wow.
20 quid. Let's get it.
Yeah, bro.
But like you'd go in and you'd think that really now it's kind of weird. I think it's a place called Tilt or Clink. It's like a bar now. And it's so strange. I go in there sometimes and I'm just like, oh, the counter used to be there, the clothes used to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that made me, even like the original, remember the original size before it got taken over by JD?
Oh, bro, I was gutted about that. That's golden, bro.
I don't realise size was JD. Kind of like.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense.
It hurt you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because you used to think, like, I remember getting one pair of exclusive shoes, because size used to be known for the place that would get exclusives, but you have to be patterned with the people that work there.
Remember the reversible hoodie with the question mark?
Yes, bro.
Back in the day.
Yeah. That's throwback.
I saved I think I saved for about 2 months to get that. And I say 2 months. It was only about 40 quid or something.
Yeah,
it was
no,
cheap,
bro.
But like,
people don't know the struggles, bro.
But it was. I remember getting that and being like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing." And then literally about a few years later, they're on by JD, and I was like, "Oh, that hurts, man." A lot of the people in Candy Store, like, it's kind of strange. A lot of them still do like fashion stuff.
Oh, serious?
Still, like, I think they're in the kind of realm. Like, obviously there was like Dark Circle. Aaron used to work in Candy Store, and there was.
Did he actually?
Yeah. I think he was one of the managers. And then I think a few of the others, like, I think one does like property now. A couple of others tried to start brands. Others work for the retailer. So it's like, it was a shame, because I remember, like, I just remember during London when you used to have the London Candy Store. I think Patta, I went to their store when Patta were there.
Crazy.
They came in as a thing, and I was randomly there. And then remember around the corner there was Johnny Cupcakes.
Bro, fam.
You know what I mean?
If you know clothing, you know about Johnny Cupcakes, yeah.
That was like
incredible. It's closed now, though, isn't it?
They closed off.
Yeah,
closed off in like 2017. I used to look up to that brand.
Bro, same. Because you know what got me? Their packaging. Oh my god.
Same as Trapstar, man. Back in the day, like.
Yeah.
Remember the Invasions? The Trapstar Invasions, where they used to go to like. This is a proper throwback, man. Like donut store in Bristol. They used to go to Candy Store back in the day, and they used to have pop-ups there, but it was very different than what it is now. And it was like you'd have lines for days just like waiting to get the top. But people would mainly get that top just for the pizza box.
100%.
And then they used to have, remember the little patch at the back?
Yeah, bro, of course.
I used to I remember back in the day I used to love Trapstar, like just
Johnny Cupcakes killed it though as well. Yeah.
They were another brand on Big Cartel that absolutely smashed it, man, and then they just kind of disappeared. Yeah, I always think it's like Kid Super before Kid Super a little bit. You know,
now that you say it makes sense. Yeah, with the way the brand is and how it looks. But I actually looked into it a bit. Kid Super. I didn't realize he was going as long as he has been.
For ages, man.
For ages, bro. Now he's finally just blew up.
It's always the case. You're like the big success that took 15 years.
Yeah, Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes, but it's stress, bro. And like even hearing your story about like 50 quid to that, bro. That's mad, bro. And it only takes one. I was talking to Callum about it, and it's like, I always believe you can always find a way to make something happen. Like, no matter what, even when the chips are down, you can find a way to make it happen. And I think that is a perfect example of not giving up, even though you at one point you probably thought, what the fuck?
We probably had, like, honestly, that was probably the peak before for the retail side. Like, not peak, but like when we launched the store.
Yeah.
Because we were investing a lot in vintage, a lot of that money was in the vintage, so we didn't have a lot of money. I think we probably had like £800 in the bank when we launched the store. And
which
a lot
is
of
getting in, going back out, getting in, going back out.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
And like a lot of it's really strange to think. I had a day job. The two of the guys had day jobs, so we were literally. I took like a week off work. We got like we had to like win the landlords over to get the store, and talk about like our long-term vision of like.
That store, right?
Yeah. So we had a long-term vision of like, we want to create this creative platform that provides the space to students and people around the city, and does all this stuff. And they were, you can tell they'll be like,
yeah, sure,
they're chatting it.
Yeah, of course.
But it was like that was our whole idea. It was more a case to be like, I think for us, obviously, I think at the time I must have been about 22 or 23. When I was a bit younger, when I was 18, you'd come to the city and there wasn't like a place just to chill. There wasn't a place where, when you go in like say Selfridges, you're being sold to. You know what I mean? It's like a thing of where if you go into a store, you're trying to be sold to. Whilst for us, it was more of a case of, we know we're good people, so people come to the store and it will grow because we're good people. Like we think of that first and foremost as just to be good people. And we launched the store, and it was like, we literally got the keys. We spent a week painting it, a week putting the rails up. Bear in mind, we had none of the rails. They were from a store that closed down next door. I think they'd gone bankrupt or something. So we took their rails, put it up. There was like spare bits of wood that they had that we then like painted, chopped in half and made as shelves.
Yeah.
There was like pallets in the back, which we then turned into tables, and like turned that into like a magazine rack too. And then
so it was looking very like rustic, very like.
Well, it was literally, we knew we couldn't spend money on it, so like the rent was so expensive, and like, it was like a 2-3 year lease. So we were like, we have to like, we actually.
That's a risk, like.
Bear in mind, I think I was only earning about £1,000 a month. My brother was like normal retail job, probably earning under £1,000, and same with the business partner, probably earning under £1,000. So like, if it went wrong, we weren't making any money. We were basically going bankrupt, so we literally had to be like, this has to be successful.
That's scary though. At the same time, man,
I was terrified. Like, I used to, because I had a day job at the time. I went to work. My brother, he quit his job and just ran the store. And I remember the first day we launched, and I was like, man, we're not gonna make one sale. We're not gonna make one sale. And then it was like, ding, ding. I'd go on my lunch, and I'd be like, okay, you had my phone in my pocket, and I'd hear the thing, and I was like, okay, it's going well. And then we had a launch party on the Saturday of like the first week, and we announced it on our Depop, announced it on our gram. We were like, no one's met us in real life, no one's going to turn up. Like, our friends and family will turn up, that's fine. And it was packed out, and I was just, it was one of those moments where it was like, we're actually real now. We're like a real thing. It's going to start from here. And then kind of 4 years went really fast in the store. We just held.
So what time was when you launched the store?
April 2016. So bear in mind, December, November, we launched the website, made not one sale. And then April, we launched the store.
Do you know how scary it is to not make any, like, a sale at all and then decide, we want a store, bro, and then sign a 3-year lease? That is, I'm not saying, like,
it was
obviously it wasn't a mistake, and I'm not saying it was stupid. Like, I love risk takers, man.
I know it
love
sounds
it.
stupid. If you're in business, you got to be stupid. It's a gamble. Everything's a gamble.
Definitely.
Like, even like if you've got like 1 million followers, even then it's still a gamble. Like, you've still
definitely, bro.
You've still got to roll the dice and hope everything clicks. But we were like, if we messed up, the first month, we just had to pay rent.
Yeah.
Like, and luckily, just like, it was weird. Like, I think we were perfect timing. It was like 2016. Instagram was changing, social media was changing, and I think it was just like that perfect time where like one was just getting creative. It was just, there was a lot of people in the city that were untapped potential, and we just launched, and we got super lucky with like these. It's kind of weird. Like, we were coming like first and second generation, third generation of these like teenagers.
Yeah.
Like, touched the store, and then it was like these lads, and we just kept on coming in store, kept on chatting. We launched an event which was called like the Gallery, which is like a lame name. looking back now, but it was just our first.
Oh, what? It's sick though.
Our first event. And that first event was packed out,
Uh-huh.
and then more kids came, more like people from different age groups, like 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
And we were just building this group of like people, and it was just like growing, and it's like it was kind of nice. A lot of them, our first generation, like kids, like now in the fashion industry, like some of them worked for Boiler Room, some others have like.
Wow. You still locked in with them?
Yeah, yeah. Like our mate Jonathan, literally, he was on the buses. It's Pharaoh Draws, if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
I love that kid because he's like the nicest kid. I've known him since he was probably 17. Like it's quite jarring now. Imagine that was like 2016 and now we're like 2024. Like some of the kids that were kids then are now like 21, 22. Even like someone nearly 30. So it's quite like.
That's crazy.
It's quite strange.
But it's sick though because you're having a massive, like loads of taste of longevity in that sense. Like you've started the brand and it's been almost 10 years now. Even though you come up to your 8th anniversary, still close like.
I see it differently a little bit. I see it as like Benet, the retailer vintage, which kind of ended, I think, in like 2020. And then the brand, I feel like, started in 2020/2021.
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. But what I did mean is it's a credit that you've been in touch with the fashion industry like for nearly 10 years now, and it doesn't sound like anything other than evolving with it or coming into your own shit and being comfortable. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do this next.
I think you've got to. I know it sounds stupid. You've got to be moving constantly. Like when we launched the store, imagine this was like 2016. We used to think like there's so many great stores in like the cities. I remember Hideout in London. You used to have like all the ones in London. You like that's such great platforms. I think Donut Store's probably the only one that did events. Yeah. But none of them were doing stuff. You can't just sell to someone. You have to be more than that. If your personality is what you do with it, like having that, using your platform and trying to bring people up with it. If you're just too focused on like selling, no one's gonna listen to what you have to say. You have to be like sort of definitely the meat in the middle of both.
Yeah, true. Like I think it's always as well good to put a face to a brand and put people next to the brand. It makes people want to appreciate it more. It makes them feel like they're special and they actually mean something to you. Which from what I've seen, they mean everything to you guys.
100%, man. It's like I always think Stussy has the tribe. I always think it was like a tribe or like the cult. Where it's like they not in a sad way, but like it's these kids and we're not in it for an ulterior motive. It's literally like just come down, chill. Like, have a chat. Like, I remember this must have been a few years back now, probably just before COVID or just 2018 time. This kid came in store and he was just like having a tough time. It was like a Saturday, and like a normal person, a Saturday is like, we need to make a sale, get out the shop. But I was just like, tell me what's happening, how you doing?
That's sick.
What's going through? And like, that kid now is like, I think he's like 22, and I caught up with him recently, and he was like, finished uni. Bear in mind, that was like when he was at GCSE time. He's finished university. He's like living life. He's like a man now, and it's like so nice to see that. Like I could see that growth in him.
That's it. You've been a part of that though as well.
It's strange though.
It's mad, bro. It's mad, but that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
You were saying yourself earlier about the tattoo thing. Like you have like.
Oh yeah. I don't say this a lot. Obviously, when we went to the store, guys, we were talking about the pop-up for Childish the other day, and I must have signed about 5 people. 5 people's like the weirdest body part I signed was someone's cheek. Still, I can't lie. I signed.
Are they getting a tattoo there?
Bro, I signed his right cheek, bro. His right ass cheek. Nah, his ass cheek, bro.
I was thinking I was thinking
ass cheek,
like,
bro. That's what I'm saying.
I was right. I thought you meant cheek.
Nah, bro. Bro, I signed this geezer's batty cheek still, bro.
How close?
Nah, well, he didn't fart. He didn't fart still. Nah, but like what I was saying is there's about 30 to 40 people on this planet with my signature on their body, and I can't get over it. But as well, it makes sense when I signed one of the people that came, and he was like, "You and Jay have honestly changed my life. Like, I don't know where I'd be without you. Please, like, I want to get a signature." And it meant so much to me. And
I don't realise though.
And right now, I get shivers thinking about it because I'm like, music does a lot for me in my mental, and I can only compare it to that, even though it's probably not the same, but I can only compare it to that because music changes like my mood and it does a lot for me in stages of my life, and that's the way they were saying it to me and Jay, and I was like, crazy. But that's what a culture is. That's what community is.
I think it's because your personality. It's not you're just a personality, but you're like, to a lot of kids and to a lot of like people, like I think what some brands get wrong.
Yeah.
They don't treat their customer with enough respect. Not customer, like the family with enough respect. It's like you've got. I remember like a customer went to us and she wants to get a tattoo done of like Benet. And straight away, I wasn't like, oh, sick, I'll film it, make content. I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, bro,
are you sure? Like,
facts.
You have to make sure. And it's like, I think we've had like 3 customers. And to this day, I'm like, I appreciate them so much. Because you need to treat your customer as like a family. Like,
100%.
Anything happens, like, be on it straight away. Like, that's why I always try and, when we have the store, even if we expanded as a business. Like right now, we're just 4 people basically, 4 or 5 at max.
Mad.
If we got even bigger, I would still want one of us to watch the store or still like be in the store because it's you buying from us. You're buying from like us. Yeah. No one can tell our story apart from us, sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of why we always like work in the store because it's like it's our personality. We've had like people that have like part of our like little team that have worked it before, but I think it's always been one of us because it's like. We can tell our story the best. That sounds kind of thing, but you know what I mean?
It's not. I feel like that's in a different sense. That's kind of like the brand Bible. I feel like me, like 3 of us in Childish, we're the only ones that know what Childish is. Like we look at a design and we're like, yeah, that's the Childish design. Like, or the feel that you get from it because obviously it's based on nostalgia. We're like, we can only know. That's why we've had a few instances where we've had people design for us and we're like, nah, that ain't it.
It's so hard. Like,
it is difficult, yeah.
I think because I'm like from a design background.
Sorry, bro, I just realised I didn't offer you a water and I've got a fridge here. Do you want water? Yeah, sweet. Sorry, what was you saying, bro?
So like, because I'm sort of from a design background.
Nah, it's all good.
Because I'm sort of from a design background, I know how bad clients can be.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I know how annoying, how like they can ask the world off a person. So I try and make it as clear as possible. And I think we've been really lucky with the designers because it's more of a case of being like, even photographers, like rather than being like us reaching out to someone, it's been like a gradual nice thing. Like one of our photographers, Sam Nicklin, used to work for Art Football in Nottingham. Like that was just like a friendship. And then that friendship led into him doing a project I was working on. Then he did stuff for Benet and then other designers where his kids come in store. He's bought something off us. He's come in again, started chatting. He's been like, oh, I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, why don't you use Benet for that? Here's like however much money. Create something off it. Like one of our close friends now, Charlie, who's like absolutely killing it with his own brand.
What brand is it, if you don't mind me asking?
My head's gone blank now. It's like Cult. It's Cult 2, if I try and get it up.
Okay.
Is
it Cold Culture?
Nah, it's called, his gram's called Bloody Soft. It's called Occult Studios.
Ooh.
So it's not like...
I swear I've heard of it, actually.
It's not like streetwear exactly, but it's more like he's creating his own pieces that are more like art pieces.
Sweet.
And he has his own studio and he does it all prints it in his own studio, like has all his garms in there, works with other like smaller ateliers to make stuff. And it's kind of... I look back now and I'm like... I'm really happy that like we were able to give him that initial platform and he's grown from it. Like vice versa, we wouldn't be where we are without his help. It's been like a co-support sort of thing. Like, but nowadays it's sort of weird. We kind of have our like select people we work with in terms of designers, or sometimes it's literally just myself designing it. Or
so you are predominantly the designer of the brand.
You know, with brands you wear so many hats. Like your customer service. Your PR, marketing, you're the designer.
Yeah, bro, I know. Yeah. I hear it.
It's like you're doing everything and anything, man. Like, so I remember one time, I think I must have been working at like 1 a.m. and I replied back to a customer who had emailed straight away, and he was like, "Shouldn't you be asleep?" And I was like,
"Don't sleep.
Don't sleep." You know what I mean? Business never sleeps because you've got to be on it, man. But I think
true.
I don't know how you find it, but like that work-life balance.
No, I'm terrible.
It's hard, man.
Bro, I was talking to Callum about it, and there's very few people that I can message on a Sunday evening at 11 p.m, but I can message Callum anytime, bro. or I can there's like five people I say that I can message anytime and they'll reply and talk to me about work.
I feel so bad about it though.
Bro, I'm used to it now. I've come to the realization I'm a workaholic, and that is fine, and that's who I am. That's my personality.
You've got to find that balance. I remember, like, I used to, when I had my old day job, I was like, I would wake up at like 6 a.m, do a bit of emails for Benet, get ready, leave for work, do work whilst I was on my phone, get to work, and like, you know, you have your 2 screens, a day job. I got told off for it, but I used to have like Benet on one page, my work. It was like a call centre. So
that's what I want to know. That's what one of my questions was, is what was the process? I have another question, but what was the process before everything like happened in terms of your normal work life and making shit happen? Is his name Hassim?
Hassim,
Hassim and Hemal.
Yeah.
How was the relationship between the other two founders and you doing your normal work life, then doing that? Because I know what I was doing, and you can't take a break.
You
can you?
Can't, like,
my
obviously one of them is my brother, so like, known him for years, known him since birth. So it's sort of like
naturally.
So it's been like in business, it's kind of, you have to have tough conversations constantly, and like obviously Hassim, I've known him since I was probably like 10, 9. So he's my brother's friend for years. So we're kind of a family business, realistically, and it was kind of like Hass had his day job, I had my day job. My brother quit his job and was like, for a couple of years, was like unpaid, like was completely just doing it like through savings.
Crazy. And
like making that bet, let's invest in this business, and it's gonna turn out, it's gonna work. I used to like, obviously had my day job, and then I used to go to work on Benet. Looking back, my manager probably shout at me if he ever found out. Like, I used to do my work on the second screen. I remember Black Friday one year, we were just like, I had it up just to see how many sales we got in. And looking back now, it wasn't a lot of money, but to me it was like, oh my God, we've made £1 million, but we obviously hadn't.
Yeah, but bro, when you're working, I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and he's just started off trading, and he was saying how much he made in an hour or in 10 minutes compared to like what he's like a truck driver, and that day he must have made, like, working his from start to finish, it was probably about £200. But in comparison to what he did in 10 minutes trading, he was like, had a realization moment and thought, what the fuck am I doing? Not doing more of that when I could make my month.
How much did he make?
Can
you say?
To say this? No, he doesn't. I'm not going to say who it is, but he made about 5k in an hour, as opposed to, but that
full day of £200.
Yeah, full day of £200, bro. But he's a truck driver. He's driving from A to B, picking stuff up, dropping it next place. But on his, but like away from that, on his breaks, he was just trading.
Oh man,
and he traded, flipped 5k, and he's like, "Yo, Hemal, like, this is what I can do." And I'm like, "Yeah, like, that's crazy."
But it's like one of those things where you don't realise the work you're doing whilst you're doing your day job.
Yeah.
Like it actually builds the foundations of everything. Like, think about it. So that day job, I'd finish it and then I'd go straight to the office, and that office used to close at like 10:30. The amount of times I nearly got locked in, like, you'd be working, because it was that thing of like, if I stop, we could get beaten by someone. The thing we're doing might not work out, so it was just like I had to always be on, working, and it was like, it didn't really imagine. It probably didn't pay off until like 2016.
It's a lot of patience, man.
Didn't pay off until like 2021.
So when did you quit your job?
So it sounds so strange. 2019, we had like a really good year. Like, it was one of those years where we were sort of like.
Sorry, just to stop you before you carry. Do you want any of these?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I've got these are my favourites. Like, I love wine gloves. Okay.
I'm trying to be good and not like have
sweets.
Oh,
okay.
You know what I'm
Nah, you're a better man than me. All right, sorry, carry on.
So 2019 was like a really good year for us, because we had a brand called This Is Never That.
Bro. Oh wait, my bag is This Is Never That.
Oh man,
massive fan of This Is Never That.
Such a Korean brand, just absolutely
kill it, bro.
There's them, and I heard of Yes I See. We're based in Korea too. Like, they're like two of our favourite brands.
I beg you send me the link for Yes I See.
Yeah, of course, man.
You, bro,
the guy originally, I think, a guy from Brum was mates with the owner, and that's how we sort of found out about it. But This Is Never That. We were shocked that no other retailer touched them. Because in the UK, like, there's a couple of brands that we our kind of goal with the retail side of it was to have, say, this independent small brand, or say this very big brand that hadn't tasted the UK market. We would get them in the store, and we'd kind of have like 1 or 2 seasons with them, and then their first or second season, after that, they would end up going to a bigger retailer. So we stocked Hood Lab back in the day. We stocked Dramacall. Back in like.
Did you actually?
Back in like 2018, 2019.
I didn't even know Dramacall was going that long.
It was cheap. I think Charlie was doing T-shirts. I think it was like was the Hollywood ones, I think, or Boulevard or something. And he was so on it, like just chatting to him back and forth. And I was like, we want to stock you, and then like straight away we had it in store, and it like sold out. Like that was one of the first things where we had it in store, same day went, and then we kept on having it in, and then with obviously 2019, then COVID hit in 2020. But right before 2020, we were like, made the stupidest decision, like we always do. We were like, let's stop stocking a lot of these brands, and let's go like pretty high, not high fashion, but go for like
streetwear.
Brands that had a bit more history behind them, or a bit more years, like Pop Trading Company, brands like that, and were similar to them. A lot of Korean brands too. And I remember like the day, it was like probably, I think it was might have been the 19th of March or something, 18th of March. We just got 1 email, then 2 emails, then 3 emails, 4 emails. Had to cancel orders.
What?
Because obviously with COVID hit in 2020, they couldn't ship stuff out. It was like that weird period where they couldn't manufacture enough.
Oh my days,
so imagine we got into our spring summer. I went to lock our store down. We had no stock coming up. We had I think we had 1 brand, Secret, like, gave us some stock, and then another brand called Stepney Workers Club gave us a few bits, but we had like literally no other stock to get. And we tried to email brands, and they were just like, we can't get to our studio to ship anything. So we got them. We only had, I'd easily say we only had about £3,000 worth of stock left.
Oh man!
Because it was like the end of like Christmas. We didn't have a lot of stock anyway. We were just waiting for that new season to start.
And then COVID hit.
And we were literally like, what do we do? So we.
Is this the because that was one of my questions. What was the transition between vintage selling apparel to the clothing line now? So is that what you're about?
So we had like merch. So we had like, we'd do a release like every. I'd say like twice a year, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was actual clothing. It was just like a T-shirt with a graphic, or we'd have like vintage jackets. We put prints on them. We had like 1 hoodie, which was like it was a bit of our box logo for a couple of years. It was called the Cult hoodie. It was just like a print off one of our friends called Darrell, who he's Georgia Smith's creative director now, and he's an artist himself. Really super talented guy, man. One of our favourite artist designers people. Like he's helped us so many years throughout the years, and that hoodie like, kept us going through years. Like it was just like one of our champion product for a number of years.
Would you ever re-release it, sort of thing?
I think now it's like it's sort of
had its time.
It's sort of strange how much we sold in that period compared to stuff that hasn't really sold that well. That's probably done better than the Cult hoodie did in long term.
Man,
it's just kind of strange thinking about it.
I think that's just the growth of the brand.
Yeah. So it was that was like a big product. So like then when COVID, we sort of thinking, let's maybe start a brand, maybe not. Our actual idea was maybe let's wait another 4 years, and then slowly do the brand. But literally, COVID, it went bam.
Stop. Kind of hit you for
we had to. The only thing that was open was our printers. So we knew we could get stock to print on. We knew we could get prints designed. So weirdly, when the transition happened with people working from home, I didn't have my like work laptop yet. I didn't have the thing, so I had about 2 weeks off before like I had to start work again.
Yeah. So that gave you time.
So we literally we had meetings like every day for about 2 weeks, and we're like, let's design this. I think right before lockdown hit, we had made this design, which was kind of like a person lifting up the Benet logo, and we were like,
I've seen it.
Let's release that as like we're not dying. This is our sort of product, and that we'd planned that release. We printed it, luckily. Shot it on the very last day before lockdown with one of our friends called Richard, who was going back to Portugal like a few days later. I shot it, released it, and we sold out within like the same day.
Crazy.
And then we had
it was a massive slap in the face, like whoa.
I say it was only about like 40 units, nothing.
Yeah, but still, like,
but it was like we were like, bear in mind we hadn't really been a brand. We'd been like a merch line. To release that and then be like, okay, people want that. And we still had like some stock left over, and a couple of like other brands at the time. We did like a they were on our website and they shipped it themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we did the next drop, and then we did the next drop, and they sold well. Then we released a T-shirt called Benet Vibes, which was sort of like, I look back now as where the brand kind of started.
Yeah.
We like had printed a bit more than we kind of expected, but it was from a designer called Space Horse, from New York. Sick designer. And he probably didn't think how we weren't going to sell that much. And we sort of did it on a bit of a pre-order sort of situation and just kind of
so
released
you could
it.
sort of gauge it.
Yeah. Because we were the only people printing with our printer at the time, like because everyone had just stopped working. A lot of brands had just literally stopped shut up shop. So we released it, and it was like ding ding ding, just going mad, and we were just like mad.
This is what it is now. Yeah.
This is like what we should do. Like we should allow the retail stuff. But bear in mind, we still signed contracts with brands coming in fall winter.
Yeah.
So we sort of like we still had brands coming in that were probably going to be able to ship after like COVID time. So we kept on doing these releases, and like 2 years ish went by. And we were just mainly I would say we were just kind of like a merch line with many hoodies, t-shirts, and then I sort of said to the guys, and I was like, I like where we're going. This was like near the end of 2022, and I was just like, I like where we're going, but let's be an actual brand now. Let's actually do cut and sew. Let's go deep into it, actually make products. And then when 2023 hit, we just said, let's do it. And we just started doing cut and sew, started making proper collections, had like our biggest collection ever that released in like the April time, and it like sold really well. And then it sort of just grew and grew and grew and grew from there. And then like, it's kind of strange now, but we've sort of went from, I think it was from September 23 up until I think it was March this year. We released a collection near enough every month, give or take.
Mad. So how many items are per collection that you're releasing?
It's not many. I think, you know, I do like when a lot of brands do like massive collections, but for us it's more about giving like one product a shining light, because like you guys do the same yourselves. Like you have like collections which are only like 10 pieces, and that's sort of our goal, to have like a collection which is about 6 to 10 pieces. Yeah. Maybe even sometimes like 3 pieces.
So there was one collection we did. It was 2 pieces, bro.
It's like it makes that customer be more attached to that. What was that?
Did someone get shot?
No, I think it.
Oh, it's just it's Birmingham, innit? Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, it was just like say 2-3 products, and then like our one that literally sold mad was, it said like, have you seen Bene Culture? It was just like, yeah, that. Just it was one where like we'd actually had a factory, and the factory had messed us over for one of the drops. So we had to literally like, we were able to manufacture the hoodie and get like, put it in a pre-order sort of thing. And it was a massive risk. It was like one of those things where like, we have to release this now. We need to we've like wasted so much money into the factory and not got stock for it. And then it was like another mad moment that came out of nowhere. Like a moment where we had to we had to release this hoodie out of nowhere, and it like sold out like within like just under a few hours. And then we kept on. We just from that moment we had the collections that finally got released from the factory, and we were able to keep on releasing it. Just like never stopped, and like we're only a team of like 3, give or take. That's what I mean. 4.
Like, what is the process from creative? I've got this idea to it's gonna go on the shelf. Like, what is the process between you guys? Like,
it sounds bad in comparison to probably a lot of other brands, but we sort of have like, imagine throughout the year, so say like 2024, we'll have like say 7 products we want to release. So it'll be like, one of them was our Domino zip this year, and then another one was our big all-rounders, which are like the more of like a very fitted, baggy cargo pant, which we spent like months perfecting and sampling. And we sort of have these champion products, then build collections around them. And half the time, it's not like some collections could be like a year in advance. Other collections could literally be like 2 months. Like one of the ones which is probably a lot of people know us from is our 7-year top, 7-year jersey.
Yeah.
It was a top where it was a Juventus kit from like 2004.
I saw it in there. I'm gonna get a piece.
It was like that was like a top I wanted forever. And like if you try and buy it online now, it's either like pristine condition or like in my size, you're talking like £300, £200.
Do you know what's crazy? I went on shirt shopping.
Oh yeah.
And I got
Ellis.
Ellis. Yeah, bro, I got that top.
Did you actually?
It's yard, bro, sick.
It's
probably not exactly that one. Looks similar.
But like that Italian kits around them was just sick. And I was like, we released the collection because I was like, I sort of won that kit,
bro.
and I was
mad.
just like, literally, we manufactured. Like, I was able to like find a render of it online. Got one of our designers called Harry to like just quickly design the logo and stuff that Benet.
Yeah.
Manufactured it in less than like 2 months, in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Shooted the sample, put it straight into production, and it just like it sold. I think it sold out before general release, and
That's
it was
insane.
But I think people loved it because it was like people love the collections where it's like a bit of backstory behind it.
Yeah. What did you give the marketing a backstory in terms
What
of?
better? We shot it in this. It's kind of like one of our main photographers, Fergus. He had this idea to shoot it in like an Italian like restaurant sort of thing, but a bit more of like a local Italian place. So I think it was near Battersea or Waterloo, little Italian spot. He called him before. Sorry, he went running and then went past the shop, went inside and asked the guy, and he was like proper like mafia vibes. He was like, "Yeah, we'll let you do it. We've had like BBC here before." so we got there. Like sort of a little bit terrified because he got in and it was like 4 Italian guys sitting down, the main guy, and he's like, he sees the top and he's like, "Is that Juventus?"
Oh no.
And he's like, I said, no, it's Bene Culture, not Juventus. And he's like, Napoli fans.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, he was proper serious, and he started laughing, and I was like,
oh, thank God he was joking.
And he was like, you need to see the Don next door. It wasn't actually Don, it was like the granddad.
Oh yeah.
I think, and we went in, and it used to be like a sit-down restaurant. So now it was more like a delicatessen, which had like pastas and stuff, and it was like a local spot where people would just come down and eat. It was really cheap, and we sort of went through to this like granddad, and he was like hello, and he sort of felt like I should kiss him on like the finger or something.
Oh yeah, some Godfather shit. Yeah.
Kiss him on both cheeks, and he was like, BBC have been here too, and I was like, oh sick. I was like a bit terrified because he was like, it used to be a full restaurant, but they'd shut off half. Like his bedroom, so he was in there just watching TV on this massive screen, and me and the photographer were just kind of a bit scared. We were like, this guy's terrifying.
You're looking at your photographer like, yo, what have you put me in?
But
man?
it was perfect, man. It was like the spot. Like we went in, ordered food, ordered like drinks and stuff, and like, because like obviously when you use the space, you want to support it too. So we gave him money, and we also bought loads of food. Bought like, I say we must have bought like 15 dishes. Only came to like 30 quid, 40 quid.
What?
Mad. Food was good too. Like arancinis, pastas, like loads of like the little like vegetable bits. And we had it in there, and the whole time it was just watching us. All the staff were watching us, and on the walls it had like Helen Mirren had a picture on there. Other celebrities that had been in there. I think another BBC show had filmed in there too. And we shot in there, and it was just so nice. It was just shooting in there. People coming up to us asking us questions.
I need to see that shoot now, man.
It was nice, man. It was like I'll show you on here. Like it was easily. It's kind of mad. It was one of those shoots where we did it very last minute again, and it just
worked out.
It was just real. It wasn't like, sometimes brands do like a £50,000 video and stuff. It was just photos, and I think I'm probably the older generation where I just love doing campaigns which are like just photos. That's it.
Because I was trying to look for loads of videos that you've done, but there's only a few I noticed.
Like that was the campaign. If you can have a look at it. So we've done like 1 or 2 videos, but
that top's cold, bro.
I always try and make a video where it's more like, or direct one, which is only when it feels right. So not every campaign needs to be a video. Like sometimes I think we've only done like 1 or 2 this year.
You can tell that's a family-owned store.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Like it was like, we gave him a T-shirt afterwards. 'Cause the Italia 90 logo. We made like a rip of it, which had like a Bene logo on it. And I gave it to him afterwards, and he was like gassed. Do
you know that those 2 people behind my man?
So
they look so happy.
We had they were scary as hell.
I'm just happy to be
here.
They
had like that 4 people there.
Yeah.
And they just kept on like laughing when we were shooting, or kept on like trying to poke in and have a look at when we were shooting.
Sick, yeah.
And they were like, "We'll move now. We've had enough. We've had enough coverage, and move to the side." But it was nice, man. It was sort of we've done other shoots like that where we go to like a friend's location, or we go to like one of our friends on a space called Groove. And we just shot inside. It's like a workshop. We did like a little collaboration with them to make it like a table, and that was kind of that was like a nice vibe for us. It was like just using our friend's space, but also making a collection sort of out of it. I loved making photos, like beautiful, man. Even
That's
going,
sick, man.
one of our favourite shoots last year went to Lisbon. Exclusively went to Lisbon just to see our mate we hadn't seen since COVID, and like built.
Yeah.
We sort of built the collection around it. Going to Lisbon, like shooting this shirt with it.
It's very spontaneous, but bro, like if you can't enjoy moments like that, why have you got a clothing line? Like
Exactly,
the
man.
thought process of that, like that's why I just love clothes, man. I love clothes and I love making clothes and I love the thought of having different clothing lines. Like it's just beautiful to me. But one of the main things is that I wanted to. I'll probably keep plugging this as much as possible, but this is a line I'm doing separate to like Childish.
mad.
And I've been working on it for quite.
I thought that was
few years.
vintage.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah, I was like,
appreciate it.
You came in store. I was like, oh, it's a nice vintage jumper that is.
Oh no, thank you. No, me and my business partner created it.
Oh, mad.
And it's basically based off. The collection's called Voice of the Community. The brand's called Lone Culprit, but that's the store that I used to go to as a child. And get stuff, and it was very overpriced, but it was sick. It was classic. Unfortunately, the store's not open anymore, but I think it's a perfect example. Like, bro, eventually I want to go to like Japan, and I want to build a whole crew neck based on going to Japan.
Make a pop up, which is that old store or something.
Do you know what I'm saying, bro? And like things like that, I just think it's beautiful.
It makes you excited, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
bro. Like I'm excited now. We're not even there, bro. We're not there yet, but I'm like, I want to make it happen. And build the community based on that. Have models from that community posing in it. Oh, it's just fucking sick, man.
I think when you get those like base ideas and they just like not blow up, but they sort of like just like expand. It becomes like a world that you sort of you're world creating.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Sure.
Like we've had stuff where like this one idea has then branched off and been something massive. Like right now we've started this thing called Benet Radio, which is sort of like a.
I was gonna ask you about that. What that is, because I know you've got 3 Instagram.
Yeah, we've got
pages.
we've got like a commercial corporate side, which is Bene Culture.
Yeah.
Bene World is like our Finsta, which is like sort of a way to just speak to the community, just understand stuff.
Which
like,
I think is sick.
No, I think a lot of brands do it nowadays, with more for their socials. But I think that page is just more like literally, it's just giving back. It's like every so often we give a gift card out, or we do like competitions on there. But at the same time, we try and understand what the customer wants. Like, what can we improve on? What we can do with this? Because I think our goal is to have this. It's like a long-term vision. Like, we could have probably made 200,000 of one item that was really successful and like been massive. But our goal is just to make it a bit longer.
Yeah.
And like Benet Radio kind of came from last year, where we were doing like these sort of like pop-up streams. There's a rapper like musician from Brum called New Consistent, Ben, and he did an event at the end of last year, and there was a artist called Emmanuel, and he had performed. I think he rapped or sang on it, and it was just a really solid event. There was like, our customers there was his fans, and it was just nice. And then a few weeks later, I think just after the New Year, a kid came in and he was like, oh yeah, I've just spent I got my paycheck and my bonus from Christmas. I bought a new laptop, I bought a pair of decks, I bought a mic, and I'm going to start MCing.
Wow.
From like, imagine, man, I don't know how big Emmanuel is in terms of musician, but he's like an indie musician, and he's like, without realising, influenced this one kid to spend probably like $3,000.
That's crazy.
On kit. And I was just like, there's something there. So we don't want to rush into anything. Our kind of goal is to take like our pace at it, like kind of like don't run before you can walk. So we did a couple of like launch events, which are like Benet Radio events. We had like Jack Bagshaw, who's a DJ. I think that's the one you might have come to.
I think that is, yeah.
We've had Cat of Smiles, which was last year. I think you know Miles. And then there was there was a couple of other musicians we've had involved, and we've kind of tested the market to see, not market tests, like what DJs, musicians want from us from it, and then we're properly launching it at the end of September, where it's going to be like the store's open Thursday, Friday. Just come down, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are. If you're a massive musician, you're a small musician. It's all the same.
So you're going to keep it on a regular basis.
Keep it on a regular basis, more of like an open mic sort of thing.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? Yeah, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember Chris FM?
Chris FM,
Chris FM, basically. Chris FM, bro, was an illegal radio station in the Black Country, and maybe
possibly.
Birmingham as well. And basically, they would just play like anybody's music, bro, anybody's music, but radio stations would try and take them down. I can't remember the exact radio frequency, but you would switch it on. It was the best. Sometimes I'd see my cousins on there spitting, bro.
Was it like Channel U back in the day? Like
exactly, bro. It was basically Channel U, like but from the local area.
Imagine like the amount of like artists that have probably come from Channel U existing.
Yes,
that wouldn't get playtime on like MTV and stuff. Like, the whole grime industry. Like, I can't vouch for knowing fully 100% about it, but like you think about artists that like even like remember H2O.
Yes.
You'd go on like Channel U and you could like I remember watching I can't remember what song it was, like Heartbreaker or something. And then you could like phone in.
Yeah,
and like say messages at the bottom. It's like that stuff.
That's classic, bro.
You know what I mean? And that's
so
I think
classic.
That's culture. I think we're trying to like the name culture. We want to be a platform as much as we can, and we've got like obviously a platform now which is growing, and we want to continuously be that and ever change. That's like we probably could have started this 3-4 years ago.
But I love that. That's a great idea though.
And it's great. I think we don't want to rush into it. I think we could have like probably launched it and just had loads of people, but we want to just gain feedback off it, understand.
Try and troubleshoot before you go into it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. I think we realise this. We're giving advice to like youngsters that want to start brands. It's not about like that first drop.
Yeah.
It's not about that first drop. It's about the next 5 years. It's about the business plan. It's about the structure. That structure then makes everything run smoothly. I think a lot of younger brands, they possibly start with that one piece, and they're like, "Oh, what do we do now? What do we do next?"
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out. Like there's countless brands that it's worked out, but we obviously been a retailer in the past. There's probably like half the brands we stock just don't exist anymore because they had that one amazing, or like that 1 year of amazing collections, and they just went,
What's next?
What's next?
What do I do now?
It's hard though, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone to school for doing business or had like that kind of goal getting attitude, you don't know how to scale. You don't know what.
Facts, bro. You learn the hard way. Like I'm still learning right now. Some of the things that you're telling me right now, I'm like, oh my, you know what? I should do that. No, facts, bro. I'm like, what you're wheeling off right now is gems, bro. It's facts.
So fun.
No, it is, bro. Like, I think it's a great example of what building a community, a solid community, can actually do for the brand and do for people, bro. It's not like you're just selling people shit. You're actually staying in tune with their lives and watching them grow, and I feel that is crazy, bro.
Even in terms of the price point, for you guys find it too. Like price point, we could probably charge like twice as much as we do. Yeah. Like a lot of our stuff's manufactured in the UK. Like it's all like within like 15 minutes of us. So it's like we could probably charge like £200 for some of the pieces, but I always think like I think of my head at university being broke. I always think I'd rather have all our products kind of be below £100 if they can be.
So or how much is like a hoodie, for example?
Hoodie's only like it's between like 50 and 70 depending.
Okay,
and then like our joggers are like 40 quid. Our like t-shirts are like 32. Most our like outwear pieces are under 100.
Yeah.
And then if we have to have a piece that's a bit more expensive, we kind of try and educate the customer of like why it's so expensive, what kind of went into this, like. Of
course.
Because you can't really, you don't have to like price something sometimes, because like you might have spent like 2 years on it. Did it by our way, it probably cost like flipping like £20,000 with how much time and effort you put into it. But
facts.
We just try and do it as like, if I was that age, if I was like, how much could I spend on this? It's getting, like a lot of customers, it's harder now. So we even like say, we're not that kind of brand where we're like, we wouldn't save an item for a customer. Like we've had a customer message me and he's bought like from us like 10, 11 times, and he's like, bro, I don't get paid for 2 weeks. Can you save me one? And we'll always
sick.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
I wouldn't want him to miss out because he's like been such a diehard of us. So how do you find it? Obviously, like your customer, because how would you say your customer base is?
I think ours is roughly. Do you know what? I would say it's 16 to 20. It ranges between 16 and 35 because we've been going for so long, like 10 years. We grew with our
aged,
like similar to, bro, literally what you're saying.
Basically the same. I think we have one customer who his kid bought off us. So he's like, he obviously was in store, was a customer, and then his kid then bought off us.
That's crazy.
I think Ideal have a similar thing where like I'm running a skateboard in Brum.
Yeah.
You go to Ideal. Because your dad went to Ideal.
Yeah.
And your kid will then go to Ideal for
That's
skateboards.
mad. But literally, it's difficult because where we started doing Gildan, we started to do print on Gildan hoodies. and then we were like, okay, we'll get a heavier Gildan hoodie, more GSM, and then it wasn't enough, so it was like, okay, go to cut and sew. But then we saw how much cut and sew was, and then obviously the prices changed. So we had to tell our customer base, essentially, like, our garments, our hoodies shouldn't be 80 quid.
Yeah.
As much as I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but it's really difficult when we have quite a biggish team, but we've got to pay them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
we've got to pay them, and this is our livelihood. We can't just say, 35 quid for a hoodie forever. It's not sustainable.
It's even like in terms of like interns and stuff like that. If we haven't got the money to pay someone, we won't even take that risk on for them. So I always think we have kind of like because we're the business owners, we have to make sure if I'm hiring someone, I can pay them for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
I can't pay for the next 5 years. I can't just let them go out of nowhere or something. And
definitely.
Even with like interns who would like want to work for you for free, I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you have to get paid. I think we were paying people before we even paid ourselves. Like, we were paying photographers as much as we could.
I know
paying
the
other
feeling.
people. You've got to, man, because it's that thing of like, it then also teaches them like how much they can charge for like how much their designs cost and stuff. And like, some people that we've done work with where they want to do it for free, and I'll be like, no.
yeah.
How much do you want? Like people had to shoot on film for us sometimes. It's like, oh, I'll pay for the process, and I'm like, no, how much do you want for your rate, and then how much for the film? And it's like, we had to sort of push them into it, and then now as it's gone along, we've gone from like, when we were quite small, and like photographers, like, say, we charge like 50 quid, we're paying them like their full rates for like shoots, and that's what, it's kind of nice. We've grown with them.
Yeah.
It's that same sort of thing. Like, if anyone does want to like, say, work for free for us, I say like, I just literally tell them no. I'm like, literally, know your worth. Like, even if you've got no skill level, like, even there's one of our friends that wants to do interning with us. So I tell him like, we'll pay you for designs, we'll pay you as a freelancer, you can use our office for free. Like, back in the day when we didn't have most money, we'd be like.
So what? Where is your office located?
Literally above the store.
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah, that's cool.
We used to have like another office, and we got it because we were like, we need somewhere for these guys to like, if they want to do something, just go in there. So one of our designers now, our friend, he used to just work upstairs until it closed and stay there. Like, he used to just working there constantly, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. And it's the same now. Like, a friend of ours is in the city, and rather than not work at home alone, they just work with us in our office.
Oh, that is
our
sick.
Our team's small. Like, literally, it's 3 plus 1 seamstress. That's it. People think we're a massive company, and it's kind of funny.
I had no idea how big or how involved, because right now, as much as I love Childish, like, I actually don't have the full time to give it my full attention. But we're fortunate enough to have someone that's been working with us for a very long time, like Phelan, for example. He's our like creative director now. So if he's got any pressing like questions about Childish, or
how did he start with you guys? Was it just like,
bro? It literally started the same, bro. Like,
really?
In terms of Phelan, we met Phelan through a friend that watches random person that watches our videos. We wanted a photographer. She said this guy's really good on a whim. Phelan messaged me, but I didn't look at my DMs like on Facebook. But he spoke to Jay. Phelan came down. We met at Five Guys in Bullring.
Oh man.
Was talking. Phelan would come down every 3 weeks.
How many years ago was this?
Bro, oh my god. We're probably talking like 2015. Bro.
Man, so even before like the.
Yeah, bro. Like, Phelan was involved with TGF way before like Childish, and then as it just progressed, obviously he's watched the brand grow, and he knows the look, the feel, and he just genuinely just works hard.
He's one of you, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he knows.
Exactly. So he was messaging us earlier, just talking about certain things because we were doing like a drop for Halloween. So he was just saying, "Oh, can I just get some confirmation on this and this?" And we're like, "Sick." The collection's wavy, and now it's just a case of,
you just trust him.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, but he knows like what's going on.
I think you know one of our Jack voice.
Bro, yes.
Yeah,
okay, all right. So I've actually got your number
through Jack.
Yeah, through Jack. And then I was saying it to him. I goes, Jack actually helps us make. It's basically it's Ferb. Do you know Jack Ferber?
Yeah.
He works closely with like us to make the products happen as well, and we've got like a design team and stuff like that. But I was texting him and I was like, yo, like, I was talking about Bene Culture and I was like, yeah, man, what do you reckon? You reckon he'll be on it? And he was like, oh, yeah, bro, here's his number. And I was like, whoa, like, I know how it feels to have my number given out.
To someone else.
So I was like, I just said to Boise, I was like, yo, Boise, are you sure he's all right with me having his number? And he was like, yeah, trust me, man, he's cool. That's what he said. And even though he gave me his number, I still just messaged you on Instagram.
I know.
I felt funny. I was like, nah, I can't just like pop him up like, yo, Hemal, man.
It's actually quite funny. I think I met Jack initially because he went to like a cheese festival or something in Digbeth.
He goes to weird shit, yeah, meets people.
No, but like imagine it was like a random Saturday and it was like a rainy, dead Saturday, and then he just walked in because he used to run a brand back in the day.
Yeah,
did he ever tell you about it?
He did, yeah.
And he was chatting to me, and it was like 1 o'clock. Yeah, he stayed until like 7, 8 o'clock.
Mad.
We were just chatting. This was like 2018 maybe, and chatted for ages. Then just like shared grams and stuff, and just been friends ever since. Like
that's so mad.
He was probably when COVID hit. Without him, we wouldn't have Benet. Like he did designs for us, like super.
Oh, fast. Seriously?
Yeah, like didn't ask for payment or anything. Because bear in mind, we had to pay. We started to pay rent, pay office rent, pay like some sort of wages to ourselves during that time. So bank money was just going. Don't. He was just like, you'll pay me later on, and we ended up paying him later on. But at the time, we didn't know where we were going to be. So he was like the designer where he helped us out. Like one of our big successes was called a Blur hoodie. He just he did it, and he was like, "You want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on then." And then we released it. All because literally he supported us for that time.
Man, he never even spoke about that.
He's one of them people in the industry where he's just like a good egg, like wherever he's been. Like anytime I hear about him, you kind of wonder where if someone talks about you, it's always good stuff. And he's one of them people where
mad. He never even bought that. We spoke about Bene Culture like quite a lot, and he's never mentioned that once. All he said it was like, oh, like very good people, very nice people. That's all he's ever said.
I think he was at Superdry at the time. That's how long ago
Yes, he was. And then, like, long story short, but we kind of took him from Superdry.
I don't think he likes Superdry.
I don't think he does either. But it's he works for my business partner's company, and they help make childish products.
Oh,
but
man.
He kind of ransacked. Basically, when Boyce went, he took a lot of people with him.
I know.
Yeah.
I ran a lot of people. He said, "Oh yeah, they're now working over our side."
100%.
You know what it is? It's because he's like one of the people you're gonna follow. He's just like he's just. I always say I owe him so much from Benet is now. Without him, it wouldn't have been. Like in that initial brand starting period, without him, it wouldn't have been. Like he did our logo twice for us when we changed it up.
Crazy.
Because we've changed our logo
loads of times.
4 times, give or take.
You know what? It's a credit because Childish doesn't have an official logo. We change it every single drop. It doesn't exist.
It's a good representation of what the brand does.
True. We switch up.
Ever changing, man.
Exactly.
We probably have one our domino logo, which is sort of like a mainstay at the moment. But I know I'm sure that people when you look at it too much, you're like, this is kind of ugly. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh, I want to change that.
We had some products a few years ago which were selling so much constantly, and I was just like, don't like it anymore.
Oh,
let's stop restocking it. Let's just go back to doing drops and stuff.
Okay. Oh, can I ask you one question actually before I forget because I actually wanted to know about this. I kind of know because off camera, but I did see that you collabed with Georgia Smith. How did that happen?
So it was sort of the thing Riley was talking about earlier. Obviously Georgia's from the Midlands.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of, you know what I mean. It made a lot of sense. One of our friends was a creative director, and it was just he was going to do this, and we were I think we had give or take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get it all set up. So that was we got 2 food vendors, sorted out all the line stuff for it, got the store decked out for her, and it was nice, man. It was I think that's what we want to give more to the city, them activations.
Yeah.
Cities. We want to have that within Birmingham, even not just through us, through other people. We want to have that more of a case where brands and bigger artists can feel they come to Brum and it's there's stuff happening.
Yeah.
That's why we do stuff. Literally, I think from this year, from basically February up until about mid-July, we had an event in every Friday, Saturday.
Sick,
Give
man.
or take. From, like,
I'm gonna. Oh, yo, hit me up, man. I'm gonna start coming to
come
these.
down,
bro.
man.
Nah, 100%. I'm gonna start coming to these more often because it sounds sick, bro.
But it's kind of nice. But then people kept on. Like, one of our last ones. These two people I thought were like mates. They were like, "Oh, now we met at your last. We met at Georgia Smith. We were just met in line and became friends." And I was just
Crazy.
I thought you were just tight.
That's mad.
Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like we've had that on so many occasions. I know two people actually became boyfriend girlfriend at one of our events.
Bro, same, bro.
It's so strange.
It is weird. It's strange.
It's made the middle name of the kid Benet or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something in the middle. Like
Yeah.
But
That'll be his flex.
it's so jarring. Like when you go to events and stuff, and people just I've met through this and this. Like we're trying to start right now like a football thing, which is kind of similar to the radio thing, but it's more like. It's kind of like just loads of people that are in the city that are doing stuff. You just play footy on one of the days and make it into a sort of a team. And it's kind of nice because then people, without realising, I hate to say the word networking, but they're sort of just connecting up, becoming friends.
I think that's it, bro. Yeah.
I think it's need more of that in the city.
100%.
Not just I hope other people end up doing it, like, and build more for the city. Rather than going to like London, Manchester.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the one thing I was saying, like off camera in the store, bro. I was like, there's no of a Soho House vibe. Obviously, that's just Soho House is just the best example I can give in terms of people can go somewhere and there's no pressure to do anything other than talk to other people and actually vibes within that city. And I feel like that's what it's missing.
I think that there was stuff like that, and it's just like either it closes down or like
it just fizzles out.
Ulterior motive to like buy something. Well, ours it's like half the time we haven't even got our products in there. Like half the time it's literally just because we're such like it's a nice size space and it's just white walls. So literally when a person comes in, like we had I think within one of the events on the Friday we had an exhibition. The very next day we had a DJ set in the store. In the same like within 2 days, and it was able to change like super fast. We can take our rails out. We can like mold the store to how the person wants it. And I think what we try and do is rather than just giving the space to the person and be like, here you go, do what you need to do. We sort of give them advice, be like, if they're a young artist and they've never done an exhibition before, we'd be like, yo, like maybe don't do that. We'll design the poster for you. Don't focus on that. You need a place to print it. Use these guys. We'll get a discount for you. Oh, you need help on like getting a beer sponsor. We'll get a beer sponsor for you. Like so, when they kind of like when we were a retailer, where.
But I actually want to talk to you about something actually because like,
with what?
because you saying that I feel like you just know a lot about the city and I'm off. This is off topic, totally off topic. But I want to do a launch event for the brand, and I just need like some advice on spaces and stuff like that. But sorry, carry on.
But it's like we give them that advice. Then you say like the retailer side of it, where they have that first 2 seasons at Benet, and then they go to a bigger retailer. It's the same sort of thing where they can do their first exhibition with us, and then I hope they do another one elsewhere. What they learn from it. Like, we don't know what we're doing, but we've done it for so long. We sort of now know what we're doing.
Yeah,
and
true.
we can sort of guide them. Even with like customers sometimes, like. I did like a thing at LCF a few years back. It was like a talk, and a kid asked me, was like, should I start a brand? And I was outright straight. I was just like, nah. I was just like, no.
Shit, what was that on the basis of? Was it the way he asked?
No, he just literally said, like, should I start a brand? Like, he asked it really nice way. And I said, no. If you're willing to, like, try really hard and know it's not going to be successful straight away, then do it. But sometimes you can sort of tell where it's like, I say to anyone, like, we're a success now, but we had 5, 6 years of just like working hard, being consistent, planning hard, like doing loads and loads of stuff, like trying to see what sticks. And I think if we didn't have the store, maybe we would have been the same, where we just had thing and then just quit because it wasn't working out. But you have to have that like initial. It's kind of like YouTube videos where you have to like you're posting and you're getting like 10 followers, 10 subscribers, and you're like, I'm famous. And then you get on,
man.
You get the next like 100, and you're like, I've made it.
Bro, it took 3 months to get 1,000 subscribers. I was gassed.
I was stressed for ages, being like, I remember he said it to me. I said, we've only got like 3,000 followers, and he just said to me, he was like, imagine like 3,000 people in a room.
Exactly.
That's so many people.
So many people.
So
bro.
You've got to think the same way, where like you might have like say 1,000 followers. That's still 1,000 people. It might be like. About 20, 30 bots, but like it's still like 1,000 people where like you can build something from it. I think followers mean nothing these days.
It doesn't.
It's all just based on a good idea.
And the people that want to fuck with you in terms of like your community and what you stand for, if they respect it, they'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I always think, imagine having, 100 customers constantly that will always get something. That's loyalty, and that's because they really do fuck with you. So going off that, and one of my like final questions is like, what is next? Like, what's next for Bene Culture?
Sounds really boring, but it's just consistency.
That's not actually boring, bro. That makes a lot of sense, and I think it goes with what you've been talking about, like because that's what you've been consistent.
I think like we've been like say like Hypebeast, Jack was on recently. Like I think we were sending our like not tech packs, our PR decks to like Hypebeast since we started like 2016, being like, do you guys want to come to this launch? Being like, looking back now, being like, Hypebeast wouldn't come to a launch in Birmingham. Like, but we kept on sending it. And we kept on like trying to build relationships. And I think we know that's from our consistency and like keeping on trying. Wait until something sticks. I think.
But Jack's good people, man.
Yeah. Like, I always think the Brum streetwear scene wouldn't be what it is without like people like that.
Yeah, voice.
Where you've got to have those platforms. Like even with ourselves, if we don't, obviously we're a brand. Not many people that have brands would let another brand do a launch in their store.
Yeah, facts.
Competition. I'm like, there's like billions of people in the world. You don't need all billions of them. You know what I mean? You need competitiveness. I always think it's like football, isn't it? Like, if you were left back and there's no left back behind you, you're not going to play your best. You're going to be like, I ain't going to get dropped.
Yeah, it's like United not having any left backs right now, innit? Let's not talk about it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to have that competitiveness. Or even like, I think someone reached out to us recently. They want to do like a launch in the store, and they're a brand, and I think they've got like 2,000 followers. I was like, yeah, of course. Don't worry about it. Have it for free. Like, just do your thing.
Wow, that's so good of you, man. Like, that's like, sick.
When we have like bigger brand stuff, like say when we have Red Bull and others, they end up paying for like independence. So it kind of works in a balance where we use whatever funds we have from that in-store stuff, then pays
to
for
cover
like, insurance, licensing, pays for like us helping out, pays for like printing for people, like, so it kind of all balances out. And I think for us it's like we want to grow slowly, but just to make sure we're not like overproducing stuff. We're not doing too much. We just want to take our time and do projects at our own pace.
Yeah,
that's how we've always ran. Like, obviously we could have literally asked for like £20,000. I've done a Kickstarter in 2016, asked people we knew for loads of money, but our whole thing was, let's start it slow, gradually move to where we are. It's happened a lot faster than we expected, but I think that it taught us a lot of how to like obviously respect our customers, be good people, and just like create good stuff and hope it all sticks together.
Mad.
And luckily it has.
That is sick, man. Well, you know what? Throughout this conversation, in the build up to this conversation, I didn't actually know what to expect in terms of being. I do my research as like anybody would do, like, because I'm just a very amateur journalist right now. But I didn't exactly know what to expect in terms of how much community and culture actually means to you in the gang. You know what I mean? But coming from it, we've spoken more about the community and the importance of building a brand and the importance of people being involved in the brand more than you actually selling the products to people. Yeah. And I think that's a credit to Bene Culture, man. That is so fucking sick. Bro, that is sick, man. I love hearing stuff like that, and it's made me check back twice. Like, maybe we should do more for... We try and do loads for the customer base for Childish, but maybe we should have a step back and think a little bit more about what we can do for them in terms of making an experience unique for them so that they can be more accustomed to the brand. Yo,
I think it's also like people just want to meet good people.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what it's based on. Like, people wouldn't say buying Childish or us. They didn't like us.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
it's true.
Like the main. I think if we weren't creating stuff for them that they didn't like, they wouldn't even. If we weren't good people, they wouldn't even like touch it in a sense. Yeah,
true. So to clock, what is your next event? Because I'm just anybody that wants to come as well.
So we've got trying to think. We have like an art exhibition on the start of September. we've then got like the proper launch of Benet Radio, which is around the 19th to the 20th.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be like a lot of I think a South Asian one to start off with.
Yeah.
South Asian DJs and like musicians, and then just like loads of shows in between there. We've got like an exhibition that's to do with hip hop right after that. It's just like constant loads of events. I think we might have another exhibition at the start of October too. So it's just like
constantly
active.
That's so sick.
Stuff, yeah.
Bro, I could actually just talk to you for time. I can't even lie because this is so fucking interesting. But honestly, guys, if you ever come to Birmingham, come to Digbeth. And I was saying to Callum off camera, I was saying Digbeth is the coolest place in Birmingham. It is the best place about Birmingham Centre, in my opinion. Like, it just has so much culture and has so much like personality that you guys need to know about. And especially in the heart of that is Bene Culture. So if you're in the city, come and check it out. I'm going to be at the next event as well. So, no, I will be at the next event. Oh, you got to hold me to that now. I'm going to be at the next event. And hopefully I can see anybody that's watching this there. And, bro, thank you and everyone at Bene Culture for coming through. And thank you for representing the city the way I feel like it should be. And it's being portrayed the correct way. So thank you for doing that.
Man. Thanks
thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. And make sure you 5-star rate the podcast. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I've really enjoyed this one. This has been golden. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys later.